Hello there guys, and welcome to a new video. Now you may, if you've seen any of my videos before, know that my videos are usually the same kind of format. It's my slow, calm, collected voice narrating a script that I've written for whatever review code. Not today, and I'll tell you why. Now, when you do what I do, what do I do? When you do what I do, you will occasionally get offered a code for something that's outside of your wheelhouse. A genre you don't tend to play or a series you're not familiar with. And because you're trying to stay in the good graces of certain companies, you turn into an absolute code-seeking gremlin that just goes, yes, there is the free game, please give me the free game. I will show you the good stuff. Here, I will give you the good review. And you just turn into an absolute hack. But occasionally, you'll get something outside of your wheelhouse and you'll go, I'm kind of vibing with this. But I got it about a week ago. I've had very limited time over the last week with work and family and blah, 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 blah. You don't need to hear all that. But as a result, this is getting flung together. So what I want to do is, this is literally a much more laid back, a much more kind of, hey, let's just shoot the shit and then talk about the game and yada, yada, yada. Now, fair warning. Now, the game in question is Romance of the Three Kingdoms VIII Remake. Right? Say that 3 times fast. Now, I really, really feel like I need to prefix this by saying I have a surface level knowledge of Romance of the Three Kingdoms. All my knowledge comes from what Dynasty Warriors games I have played, which is a few over the years, and Wolong Fallen Dynasty, which I loved very much. Now, that's it. So, if you are a die-hard fan of Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and you are looking for an in-depth, critical analysis, a proper critique of this remake of a game that was released 20-odd years ago, then, this video is going to annoy you. You are going to be infuriated because I know nothing about this stuff, and I mean nothing. So, what's going to happen is I'm just going to go over this game like, what is this game like to someone who has no knowledge of this series, has no knowledge of the genre, has no knowledge of anything to do with it. It's somebody who's loaded up their PlayStation or their PC, went, that looks kind of interesting, and bought it. What is the new player experience to this? What's it like for someone who has no horse in this race? Which is me, right? So, hi, hey up, welcome. My name is Mr. Poshak. I am an affiliate with Koei Tecmo Europe. I am also an affiliate with Deep Silver, and I am on the trusted creator list with Bandai Namco. As a result, we get quite a few review codes to go over. Because I was in the early review window for this game, we thought we'd make a bit of effort. We'll do the big review. We'll get dressed up. Let's see what we can do. Get this review out the door. Have a bit of fun. So there's a couple of things we need to go over first and foremost before we do anything. First of all, thank you very much to Koei Tecmo for providing a review code for this game. It's great to be working with a developer so closely. I absolutely adore nearly every one of the titles they ever put out. Big Dynasty Warriors fan. And Koei, if you do watch this, can we do more with Wild Hearts? I'd much rather be talking about Wild Hearts. Wild Hearts was fantastic. Do something with Wild Hearts. Anything at all. Anything. You just re-release Wild Hearts and I will play it again. Quite happily. But anyway, let's talk about this game and not Wild Hearts. If I have to. So yes, let's get started with this totally unprofessional review of Romance of the Three Kingdoms VIII Remake. Now, a little bit of history to start with. This is a long running game series. This goes all the way back to the 1980s. This particular title is a remake of a game that launched on 2001 for Windows PC, then 2002 for PlayStation 2, and I believe that there was a PSP version in 2007, and I've obviously found all that out with my impeccable journalistic skills. This is a game series that has sold, at time of recording, over 9 million copies, but has had mixed results in the West. Very popular in the East, not so much in the West to my knowledge. So obviously Koei Tecmo was hoping to capture a wider audience this time around. With regards to how the game is, now what type of game is this? Now this, like I said, I had to ask a friend. What this was, who is very well versed. This is my Romance of the Three Kingdoms guy. And I'll try to depict him as best I can. Now I asked him, and his response to what type of game this was a grand strategy drama. I was like, okay. So I still don't know what it is. Now, it's a turn-based strategy game involving politics, relationships, good and bad, spouses, sworn enemies, forging connections with other people, yeah, that kind of thing. You can control it down to the minutest of detail. I mean, you can give commands in ways you wouldn't even think of. It is a very deep game. Now, I made the mistake of when I started playing this, I went straight in as ruler, and I went Xiao Xiao, who I know is like, well, he was like my main guy in Dynasty Warriors. I liked going Xiao Xiao. Anyway, I went as him, and that put me as ruler, and I'm micromanaging everything at this point. I'm running the city and invading other cities, and I'm creating diplomatic ties with other cities at the same time that I'm conducting espionage on other cities, and I'm getting into duels with people. And then there's, I'll talk about it in a second, but it's hilarious. So I was literally micromanaging the lot, and I was very overwhelmed. Didn't have a clue what I was doing. And I was genuinely at that point, I'm going, I don't think this game's for me. I don't think this is my type of thing. But then something else happened. I came back out, and I went back in and picked somebody else. And when I picked someone else, I picked to go as a common officer. Now, what that meant was I wasn't the ruler anymore. I was just an officer in the ruler's army. So I started taking orders. I could put out suggestions. I could go, hey boss, why don't we go have a look at that enemy city? I bet I could conduct some espionage in there. Get you the scoop. And then you would do that, and your boss would be like, that's a good idea, son. Well done. You got me the scoop on that. Have some money and a tasty promotion. And you start working your way up the ladders. You're trying to impress the boss. It's a bit more simple. You could choose different ranks. You could be a free officer, which means you owe your allegiance to no one and you're looking to get recruited by a lord. As far as my knowledge, you can create your own officers. There's over 1,000 officers that you can play, which is actually an improvement over the original where I think it was about 600. But it's a very deep game, and for new players, like someone with no experience like me, it can be so overwhelming. This game is the niche's niche. This is a strategy game of a piece of Chinese literature. Book. I did say there was something funny that I wanted to talk about, and I think this is a good place to put it in. There is a duel system system in place, where if you're on the battlefield, for example, 2 officers can engage in a duel. Now, the way this progresses, it's basically a card battle system, where whoever's got the most cards ends up winning. Whoever's got the highest numbers ends up winning. It's simple enough. But this system is also used for the debate mechanic, where you can get into a debate with another character and you're basically playing out an argument. Same card system, but instead of swords and spears, it's yo mama. It's insults and logic and sit down and shut up. When I started the game as Xiao Xiao, it allows you to practice certain things the first time you do them. So when I went to debate someone, it said, why don't you have a practice? And I had a practice against my wife. So literally the first thing I did in the game was win an argument against my wife.
Listen, bitch! I'm not finished yet. Woman?
Oh, male power fantasy here. And I just found that really funny. Really funny is that you can just have an argument with the wife, and there's a whole game mechanic for it, and I just found that hilarious. Now, it's not all debates and one-on-one duels and diplomacy in parliaments. There is also battle. Now, I don't have much gameplay recorded for battle because, like I said, this is a long game, and the battle stuff that I'd recorded was actually not very good for my quality side, so I've just omitted it, and I will describe it with my sultry tones and my great descriptive prowess. It's a turn-based strategy. You have troops, various types of troops, and you take every turn they can move, perform tactics, attack, defend, retreat. The different types of troops are more effective on different types of terrain. So, say, light infantry will have advantage on mountainous terrain, where light cavalry will have an advantage in movement. Archers who can attack at long range, you've got assault ships that can gain advantage on water. That kind of thing, and the goal is to defeat the opposing army or defeat their stronghold. You can unlock and train new types of troops and new types of machinery as the game progresses. If you increase your technology of your forces, weapons can be deployed to your units will become more powerful. Special battle strategies using siege weapons such as rams and catapults will also become available, and you can overwhelm your enemies with the skills and the technological power of your entire nation. And nation is the name of the game. The purpose of this game is to unify China under your rule. Now, you can choose to go the historical route as it is portrayed in Romance of the Three Kingdoms, or you could go completely off the wall. You could just go flip the script on history and do what you like. Now, I accidentally did that when, as playing my initial playthrough with Xiao Xiao, I conquered a city. After conquering that city, I had taken so many people hostage, or not hostage, prisoner of war. And it gave me several options of what to do with said prisoners. You could try and conscript them, make them join, or convince them to join your side. Some would not. You could free them. Just go, don't you do that again, you naughty rascal, on your way. Or you could judge them. Now, I didn't know what the judge button did. I think, do you get a trial? Oh, that's interesting. Now, one of the people that I had captured was Lubu. Now, if you do not know Dynasty Warriors, Lubu is terrifying. If you played Wolong, you will know Lubu is terrifying. Now, I had defeated him in that battle to capture that city. And what had happened was, it went, what are you going to do with Lubu? And I went, we could put Lubu on trial. That'd be really interesting. So I hit the judge button and instantly had him executed. So not only did I kill him, his wife then hated me and became a sworn enemy. So yes, you can change the course of history by pressing the wrong button. I was not expecting to actually enjoy this. I'm sitting there going, a grand strategy game with micromanagement and politics, turn-based. I'm thinking, this is going to be too slow for me. It's going to be over my head. I've not got the brains for this. But see, to be honest, when I started going the characters or picking the positions that I thought I would enjoy, something started vibing. I started going, do you know what? I'm getting this. I'm kind of into this. So if you like your big strategy games, XCOM or Final Fantasy Tactics or Total War and things that are on a grander scale, where you can take your time, think about your decisions having consequences. Like the characters you go in this, you can marry people, you can have children, people can grow old and die, and you can then play as the children. It's a long game. But I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to get why people are into this, going, I thought of this. That's my strategy worked. And now I have got that city. I conquered that city and recruited that general. And those officers now have sworn their loyalty to me. I will unify China. And that's the idea of it. It is grand. Grand strategy, grand scope. But let's wrap this up, shall we? Because this whole video has just been a ramble, and I thank you very much for getting to the end of it. A couple of things just to tidy things up a touch. Disclaimer here, I am not a professional video game reviewer. I am in the very privileged position that certain publishers and developers have decided that I am trustworthy enough to be provided with review codes. Take that as you will. You can listen to me, you cannot listen to me. I'm moving away from the whole numbers score. I did it for a couple of games and I don't like it. I'm not IGN. Christ, thankfully I'm not IGN. Otherwise it would just get a 7. But at the end of the day, I'm just a guy who likes games. I've played a lot of them over the years, but as you can see, there are still genres that I am not familiar with. This was one of them. Would I recommend this game to you? Don't know. Do you like strategy games? Do you like the idea of micromanaging an empire to rule a kingdom? If you do, yeah, look at this game. If you want things that are faster paced with combat, don't get this game. It's as simple as that. This game is targeting a very niche audience. But it could be worth a punt if you like strategy games. Very much so. This is the strategy series. So with that, all I'll say is thank you again to Koei Tecmo for the review code. It's a pleasure to continue working with them. Again, maybe look into Wild Hearts, guys. Great game. You know, maybe an IP that shouldn't die. Outside of that, I'd like to thank all of you that have made it to the end of this video. Rant, ramble and all. As always, I will thank you very much for your time and your patience. I hope to do more with YouTube going forward. If you have any suggestions for what I should do on YouTube going forward, please let me know. But with all that said and done, this has been Mr. Poshart with a slightly rambling, unprofessional review of Romance of the Three Kingdoms VIII Remake on PlayStation 5. And I'll say toodle pips, tatty bye, take care, cheerio, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.